Hey everybody, Lloyd here with Just Got Played, and today we are doing another game unboxing. Today it is for Marvel United X-Men Gold Team expansion. So this is one half of the Blue Team Gold Team expansion, and that just kind of relates to 90s comics and how the X-Men had a blue team and a gold team, and they were, you know, kind of like an A team and a B team. So in this box, we have, looks like we have 6 minis, and we have some additional stuff rules. So let's go ahead and crack this open. As always, this is, it says 1 to 4, but with the team mode, it's actually, you can go up to 6 players, and 7 if you decide to have someone play the supervillain mode versus playing against the AI. So let's go ahead and crack this open and look at it. So if you are not familiar with Marvel United, essentially what it is a co-op. However, this is a team versus team variant. But it is a 4-player co-op where you are playing against the AI, which is going to take control of a supervillain, and he's going to move around the board and try to knock you guys out. You need to defeat the supervillain, and you do that by rescuing civilians, beating up thugs, and clearing threats off the board. Once you do that, you can attack the supervillain and hopefully knock him out before he completes his plan or knocks you out. All of the expansions add new mechanics and little wrinkles to the rules that you can, add and mix together or combine however you want to kind of mix up how the game plays. The blue team and the gold team add this team versus team mode, which allows you to go up to 6 players. So you have a team of 3 versus a team of 3. So this looks like pretty much the same rule book from the blue team. So the blue team and the gold team both have the same rule book. So of note inside here is that you have 2 different storylines. You have a gold team and a blue team storyline. So blue team will only get benefits from blue team, and gold versus only for gold. So it's not, instead of having the one storyline and you get the bonuses from your team, your teammate, you're going to have 2 teams here. So that's the only real big difference aside from it's team versus team. So it's a semi-co-op at that point, right? And then at the back here, it's got compatibility rules for supervillain mode. So if a player plays a supervillain, so you make it 7 players at that point. It's got some extra challenges here. And over here, we've got some special rules for specific villains, and then some villains that you can't even play in this mode, which is not very many considering how many villains are in the game. There's not a lot that you can't play with. You can't play with Apocalypse and the Horsemen. You can't play with Mystique, the Sentinels, and Nimrod. So there's a little bit. You can play with the Sinister Six individually, but not as a team. So there you go. We've got some new little punchies here. So we've got the blue team, gold team marker. I assume that flips back and forth to determine, whose turn it is, or maybe initiative or something. These locks go on the cards. So when one team unlocks one of the bonuses, like when you save all the civilians, this will unlock that mission for you. And then you've got some no BAMs, which I assume stop the supervillain from BAMing. So let's see what locations we've added with this gold team expansion. So we've got the Hellfire Club building. We've got Limbo, and that's where magic is from. We've got Krakoa. So if you've been paying attention to the comics, Krakoa is very central to the newest X-Men run. And it is a living island that is a mutant. But apparently they're doing something what, kind of retroactively introduces Krakoa from way back when. And then we've got Chandelier from the Shi'ar Empire. So if you're familiar with the X-Men comics, a lot of the Shi'ar stuff factors in there. They mix it up with them quite a bit. So those are our new locations. over here, we've got this blue team versus gold team mission tracker. And I'm assuming, like I said, that little token probably goes there and you flip it back and forth for whose turn it is, or I don't know. We'll have to read the rules, figure that out. So we have Sebastian Shaw as our supervillain this turn. And if someone decides to play him in supervillain mode, the heroes get all these starting tokens. So, special rules, bam, and overflow effects. He doesn't have his own little special mission he's trying to do, his plot, but yeah, that's Sebastian Shaw. So let's go ahead and take a look at all of the minis here, or all of the cards for the characters. So first up, we've got Forge. So Forge does not have a starting hand card. If you notice, Bishop here does, and a lot of the mutants do. And the starting hand is just it's a card that you're going to get at the beginning of the game as part of your opening hand. And it's going to be some latent ability that if you play it early on in the game, it's going to benefit you throughout the game. Here we've got Forge, and his mutant powers, he can pretty much do anything with weapons or with mechanical things, with robots and machines. So he's a pretty cool character. He's got nice artwork. Intuitive Genius, Spirit Sight. I guess maybe he's got some other power too, because I don't know what that Spirit Sight is. I'm not super familiar with Forge. He's a cool looking character. And that's about all I know about him. So here we do have Bishop, and he does have his starting hand card. So we'll just take a look at that real quick. Energy Resistance. So as long as this card is face up in the storyline, you cannot take any damage dealt from adjacent locations. So that is pretty cool. So it stops basically someone from shooting at you from another location. So Bishop, of course, is a time-traveling mutant. He comes back in time to kill Xavier to stop something from happening. And basically, I think he's the catalyst for like Age of Apocalypse, maybe? I think. But anyway, let's take a look at his artwork. Really cool stuff, because he basically can absorb energy and then shoot it back out. All right, so that's his mutant power, or one of them anyway. Energy absorption. So there you go. Gain 1 red token. You may ignore 1 damage until the beginning of your next turn. So that's pretty cool. That was Bishop. Let's take a look at Archangel. So this is Archangel, and it is a different character than Death, which is Archangel before Archangel became Archangel, right? So Angel lost his wings or something, and Apocalypse makes him a deal and gives him these cool razor wings, but he makes him one of his horsemen. And then eventually he comes back and he becomes Archangel and becomes a good guy again. So there is a separate Archangel, or a separate Death mini in the game, a separate character that is part of the 4 Horsemen expansion. So let's go ahead and take a look. There he is, just swooping around, flying. There he is, shooting his cool razor blades out of his wings. Good stuff. There he's, just floating in the air, looking cool, doing some swoopy attack. Overall, yeah, techno-organic wings. Archangel is a pretty cool looking character, and he's just a cool character overall, I think. So here we've got Iceman, Bobby Drake. And there is another Iceman in the game from I believe the first class box. There is another Iceman in his snowman form versus his ice form. There we go. There he's scooting around on his ice bridges that he makes, his ice surfboards. There's shooting some ice. Looks pretty cool. Good stuff. Making a spiky ice thing, which is probably like, that looks exactly like his mini, which we'll see in a couple minutes here. Cryokinesis, organic ice body. You cannot take any damage until the beginning of your next turn, so that's pretty cool. You just go into ice mode and no one can hurt you for a round. Next up, we have my favorite X-Men, probably one of my favorite Marvel characters in general, which is Colossus. And let's take a look at his starting hand card, because he does have one. And it is organic steel body. As long as this card is face up in the storyline, you may ignore 1 damage during each villain turn. So he can just ignore villain damage, which is pretty cool. And I'm sure he's going to have a lot of punchies. Let's take a look at his art. And he's doing punchies. There he is, throwing a sentinel head. That's pretty cool. Or maybe he just ripped it off. Pretty cool artwork. Fastball special. You had to have that in there. Right, him throwing Wolverine. Good stuff. Cool. So he's got 3 fastball specials and his organic steel body. Good stuff. I really, really like that character. So next up, we've got Sebastian Shaw, and nothing fancy here. Just generic artwork. Just kind of shows you what's going on. Hellfire Club Deception. Give each hero 1 crisis token. Ooh, those are always bad. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Let's throw that in there. We've got his threat card. So cool. He's going to come with the White Queen, Emma Frost. The White King, who I don't know who the hell that is. I don't know the White Rook. The Black Queen, who is Jean Grey. The Black Bishop, who I don't know who that is. And the Black Rook, who I don't know who that is either. So yeah, I know 2 out of the 6. Cool stuff. But there you go. So these are the threat cards, and basically these are all bad guys that you're gonna have to go around and punch a whole lot to knock them out. And then we've got the the clear threats, rescue civilians. So these are the blue versus gold cards. So each team needs to complete these things in order to do fight the bad guy. And then we've got the challenge. This is the same accelerated villain challenge from the blue box. Villain turns take place after every 2 hero turns from both teams. And then once the villain is under pressure, and when he gets under pressure is when you clear 1 or 2 of these things. I think once you clear one of these missions, that's when he becomes under pressure. He then takes a turn after each team has performed a single hero turn. So he gets very, very fast. He's going to start punching you very quickly. So let's go ahead and take a look. We will pop one of these on and see how it fits. All right, so let's take a look at the figures, the minis from the X-Men Gold Team box. So we're going to start with the most boring figure in the box to me, which is Sebastian Shaw. He just looks like he came from the cast of Hamilton. So he is the leader of the Hellfire Club. I don't really know much about him, to be honest, but he's a guy, and looks like Benjamin Franklin or something. So there you go. Doesn't look like Kevin Bacon from the movies, who was also playing Sebastian Shaw. But yeah, we have Forge. So Forge is pretty cool, right? Because he's he's got that mutant ability to pretty much make anything out of machines and electronics. So he's got that cool gun that he made, and then he's got his little cybernetic leg. It's pretty cool. I definitely dig this figure. And he's got all the scrap on the bottom, so you can make even more cool parts. There you go. That's Forge. Next up, we've got my favorite X-Man, and probably one of my favorite Marvel Comics characters altogether, which is Colossus. And I really, really dig this costume. It's his original one. with the little shoulder pads. He is one of my favorite characters, along with like Juggernaut and Magic. I kind of wish they made him a little bit bigger, but I know he's not that much bigger than pretty much everybody else. But still would have been cool if he was a slight bit larger. But you know, there you go. He's pretty cool, and it looks pretty accurate to. I have this Marvel Select Colossus, and if you take a look, yeah, looks pretty close. Got the same boots and everything, so I'm definitely happy with this figure. Next up, we've got Archangel. So Archangel is Angel after he lost his wings and made a deal with Apocalypse and was Horseman Death for a while. But this is a really cool figure. I mean, look at that wingspan. He's just massive. That is a pretty cool looking figure. And there are 2 more Angel figures in this lineup, because we have regular Angel in the first class box, and then we have Horseman Death. And they're all unique poses, unique sculpts. And this is just really cool just because of how big this figure is. And he just looks really cool. Definitely dig it. Next up, we've got Bishop, time-traveling Bishop. And he looks pretty cool. They sculpted that M onto his face. Definitely a really cool-looking figure. And I believe he is the cause for Age of Apocalypse, if I remember correctly. He comes back and accidentally kills Professor X. And I think he goes back like too far back in time in a different story and kills Professor X before he can make the X-Men. And then, Age of Apocalypse happens. But there we go. That's Bishop. Next up, we've got Iceman. So this is a really cool figure. If you notice, he's made out of clear, translucent plastic. And this is something they started doing in the Marvel X-Men wave, where they started using different transparent, translucent plastic. So they have like red for some fire people, like reddish orange, and then they have clear, just like straight clear, and then they have this blue for Iceman, and it looks really cool. Another figure that looks really cool like this is Silver Surfer. Similar pose, but yeah, they basically made him all silver. So yeah, this is a pretty cool looking figure. Definitely like it. So here's the little team disc. I'm just gonna pop this on there real quick and see how it works. It snaps on, and there you go. It just clips on, and then to pop it off, you just push up on the bottom of the figure, and it just pops right off. So yep, that's how the discs work. There you go. Let's put it all back together for the time being. Let's go ahead and throw this back on there. Let's get these back in. Let's put that back on top. And then for now, we're just going to throw this back on top here and throw this in there. We'll punch all that and put it away later. Probably mix it in with other sets of tokens. But that was X-Men Gold Team from the Marvel United X-Men. And again, this introduces up to 6 players can play now. Makes it a semi-co-op because you have team versus team, but you have to still defeat the bad guy. So even though you're kind of battling with the other team, you really need to work together to take out the bad guy. And it's basically for bragging rights, right? But let me know what you think. We're going to be doing all of the X-Men, the Marvel United X-Men, all-in pledge level minus the add-ons like the cardboard locations and the plastic tokens. So we're going to be going through every one of the boxes. So check back on the channel, see what we posted, because we're going to be covering this for a bit. There are about 10 boxes plus the expansion box or the Kickstarter exclusives. So check back if you're interested in seeing what's in there. Let me know what you think of the game. If you have any questions, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.
We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a comment or hit the like button. It really does help us out. If you have suggestions for future videos, let us know in the comments as well, and then subscribe to see what we come up with next.